when you look at AI and entertainment and media today, what do you see as the sort of the biggest opportunity, and what do you think is the biggest misconception about risk? Jared?
I mean, I think the biggest opportunities is just the rate of advancement, how quickly things are getting better. I think it has a big democratizing effect. I mean, it lets the frontier models and everything create impressive stuff, but it lets almost everyone create things. Costs are expensive but coming down, and open models enable a lot of things. So I think it just I think we're at the front edge of this. It's already enabling all sorts of new creations that you couldn't have imagined a few years ago. And I think within the next few years, it'll probably be transformational in ways that we can't even really comprehend right now. I think misconceptions are often people either think nothing can be protected around this that you're doing, or everything is infringing, or kind of how to have the risk allocation. And I think that people have evolved a lot in the last year, 2 years, because there was a lot of fear, and now I think a lot more people are moving toward practical solutions, trying to figure out how you can have risk allocation while still getting the benefits. And I think there's both better understanding, but better strategies, and the law is developing in ways that let you implement practical strategies that really, I think, work for a lot of clients and companies.
Do you have anything to add, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I think we view ourselves as creators of tools, not toys. Things that enable people to scale how they create, whether you're a musician or you're an advertiser, and to open up new revenue streams for others who are able to use our tools to make them. And so, it ranges from people who use ElevenLabs for voiceovers, for advertisements, or for their social media videos. They're able to quickly and dynamically change the text of a video to reflect exactly what they want without going into a booth and having the right mic with them and recording. And so I think we view our tools as largely additive, allowing for the creation of things that weren't able to be created before. Audiobooks is another great example. Only 5% of books become audiobooks, and generally just in 1 or 2 languages. There's no reason that should be the case anymore. Given the technology exists, every book can very easily be an audiobook in any language you want, and that, again, to the previous point, opens up more revenue streams for everybody involved. So that's our approach, and I do think that the opportunity is pretty endless for creatives who are open to creating in new ways.
What do you think about misconceptions on risk?
There are 2 answers to that question. One is from a contracting perspective. I think a lot, and we were just talking about this before, I think a lot of our customers view AI as so dramatically different from SaaS and things that they've previously contracted for without that much stress. And I think that's a little bit of a misconception. So I think we had a lot of kind of what I felt was unnecessary friction in our contracting with customers, and the piece that was missing was not a language change to a particular risk allocation provision in our MSA, but education and choreography, and helping the lawyer who's on the other side of the deal, who's not like us spending all day doing AI deals, understand what our tools actually do and what they don't do. And I think that education piece has been super helpful in making, speeding up our contracting process. It's not that AI doesn't present unique risks that haven't been present before, but I do think those risks are way overstated, and at the end of the day, from a contracting perspective, it's just not that different.
Interesting. Yeah. And Remy, from a sort of client side, right, you obviously have to approve, we were talking before, you have to approve lots of these different services and tools that the marketing teams want to be able to use from time to time. What are the things that you're looking for? What kind of risks, and what are you looking for when you negotiate with someone like ElevenLabs or someone similar?
Lots of risks, lots and lots of risks that I'm looking for, but I'm getting more comfortable. And Alex is going to work on me, I'm sure, because we are in the middle of it right now. I don't know yet how loose I can be because my clients are a regulated industry. So I'm very concerned about how we use the tools. Are we, not just ethics, but confidentiality, especially with pharmaceuticals and healthcare. It's really important that we protect the information. So I'm looking, for me, is this system learning on my inputs? Is it training on my inputs, and will those inputs turn in, end up somewhere else in someone else's output? And that's revealing confidential information. So I want to know that I can turn off the learning and the training on the data that we input, and then we can really have a good time with the tool. I have no problem after that. I think as far as what we're doing with the tools, there's a lot of options. There's writing, there's audio, there's video, there's technological speed for media buying, for analytics. So it depends on the use case, and that's the very first thing that we ask. What are you planning to do with this, and where is it going to end up? And then we think about it, and we've been evaluating for years. I would say at least 2.5 years ago, we started really vetting every single tool that people wanted to buy. You cannot use your credit card, and we won't reimburse you this way. I have to see it, our team has to see it, and not just me, it's a team comprised of IT and privacy and folks who are in the AI group. Right. So we're just doing everything we can.
And it's interesting, particularly when you're working with ad agencies, that they're desperate to use these tools because they save so much time, they're really impressive. And I guess sometimes it's incumbent, on both of you and the marketing teams to work together, and so that you're not just saying no to all these things, right? Because ultimately they will probably just do it anyway and just not tell you. So the
not in my company.
Well, but that's because you've got a collaborative approach with them, right? But if you take a too conservative approach, then that may be so it's a kind of a fine balance you have to play, and it's all again about educating the business as the risks.
Absolutely. Yeah. I run a school. No, I'm teasing, but I do train constantly. Constant training evolves. You have to look back at what you said 6 months ago, and it may not apply today. So there's a ton of training and a lot of giving people the chance to do their job. So I have a job to do, but so do they. And if you very, very conservative, it's easy to say no. It's so easy to say no. It's hard to figure out a way to move forward, and that's the hard work of what our team does, and it's important because we'll be stagnant if we don't know how to use it. Yeah. So I want them to play and use it all they can, but do it responsibly.
Leads me on to another point where I was wondering, because you've both been in previous roles before, is the role of the GC, given the integral part of AI to your companies and products, is the role of a GC changed, as in from being more like a gatekeeper to almost like an architect of what is possible and how you use things?
So this is my first in-house role. I don't know if that's a great thing for ElevenLabs, but it's a lot of fun for me. And I think you just have to accept what the realities are of your job. And like for us, it is to enable new commercial use cases, and it is to enable our research team to do their research, whether that means going out and acquiring data that they need to make their magic happen, or sort of any other number of things. So I think in my current role, you're always trying to get to yes. And when you're at a fast-moving, innovative company, which I feel lucky enough to be at, that's what you have to do your job well. So like being a department of no is not an option for us, and so we're always doing everything we can to get to yes carefully.
Mm-hmm.